If you like trees and plants, you are going to find this video very interesting. We are Brandywine Trees, a wholesale grower of over 100 varieties of rare, hard to find, and popular trees. We are in an organic nursery and grow our trees by hand. Our focus is on growing great trees with superior root systems. Brandywine Trees is an online nursery only, and we sell in quantity in the Philadelphia tri-state area. So today we're going to give you a tour, a close-up tour of some of our trees and give you an idea of how we grow. So it's our production methods as well as some of the factors that go into growing great trees. So here you can see this is our production field. You can see some tall trees to the right there, and we have some smaller ones in the black pots, and these are mostly seedlings. So these are mostly one-year plants that we get in the spring, and then we upstage into the larger bags, and then we continue to grow them until they're a larger size. Now we start with seedlings, and usually it's a couple thousand, 3,000, maybe even 4,000 a year, and we grow them into larger trees before we're able to sell them. So what you're seeing today is an introduction, a view of what these trees look like when they're smaller, before they're upstaged, and before we grow them out to the full-size tree to be sold. So to the right we have some skip laurel, which are very popular as a privacy or screening tree, and then we have these are 2-year American holly, which are really beautiful trees, beautiful hedges. They're evergreen. They have the red berries in the wintertime. It makes a great hedge as well as a great specimen tree, and we're really happy with how these grow out. So you can see some 2-year, and then we've got some 1-year next to them. So you can see what kind of growth, even from hollies, which are known as a slower growing specimen, the kind of growth that we're able to get from these. So we'll continue along, and we have these giants right here. These are American sycamore, and these are about 6-7 feet tall. Now you'll notice these are still in 3-gallon pots, but the plan is that these will be upstaged. We have to, because the root systems are so full, but certainly ready to be upstaged to a bigger bag, tree bag, a root pruning bag, which is the process that we use. So here, these are some 1-year American holly. You can see how large they've grown. You can see some new growth that is growing even still. So here we are, September 12th, 2020, and we have new growth on a lot of these specimens. So it's interesting. So even now, we're coming into the fall, we're still getting growth. Now these are oaks. So we have some white oak, swamp oak, and some northern red oak, and they may not look very good right now, but these are the yearlings, and this typically is what happens, though. The leaves just don't look as pretty as they should. What happens is next year they develop new growth, and they turn into superstars. These are just amazing trees. This is 1 year of growth. So generally oaks are slow growing. Northern red oak is a little bit faster. And then we have some magnolia, and this is a variety of magnolia called Northern Belle. These actually will keep their leaves and withstand temperatures of minus 35 degrees. So it is considered an evergreen tree, believe it or not. So they are hardy down to minus 35. And this tree, this is a very interesting, very unique variety. This is Magnolia macrophylla, also known as the big leaf magnolia. They have some very large leaves, as you can see, but what is probably the most interesting and beautiful part of these trees is that they have large white flowers that are 14, 15 inches across in diameter. It really is a sight to be seen. I mean, they are just truly magnificent specimens, and it is actually a native. So these are dwarf variety. It's a native of Pennsylvania, which is where our nursery is located. We're in northern Chester County, Pennsylvania, and you can see here where we have a larger specimen. And then we come down here to we have some green giants. These are 3-year-olds, and we grow them out. They have another couple years to grow before we actually start selling them. So I'm going to go back over here, and this is Magnolia Ann. And this is just a really wonderful evergreen. I'm sorry, not evergreen, but magnolia. And it's flowering. Flowers in April, has beautiful dark pink, almost fuchsia colored flowers. And right here we have the Moonglow magnolia, which is just an amazing magnolia, very fast growing, very floriferous. These are 1 year old. You can see the growth that we have on them already. We get these as small seedlings. You can see here, even at 1 year, it has flower buds. And it buds very easily, it flowers a lot, very, very fragrant, just an amazing tree. It is considered semi-evergreen. It'll keep most of its leaves, roughly half in the winter. But it is definitely one, to consider. So again, we've got the green giants. We actually grow a lot of these. These are 3-year-olds, and right here we got some 2-year-olds, and we just grow these out. We do prune them, of course, and shear the sides to get a thicker growing tree. And then also over here we have what is another version of the magnolia, sweet bay magnolia. It's called Henry Hicks, and this is a pyramidal. It is an evergreen, and so it keeps all or most of its leaves. It flowers very heavily, and it has this pyramidal shape, which you can almost start to see what's happening here. Just a quick side note, we obviously have a lot of watering to do around here. We use a variety of different methods. There are some varieties, some groups that we have to water by hand as we're preparing trees for delivery. But this is one of the most effective ways to water trees, the water wand, because you put it on the shower mode only, shower mode, and that's where you can place the water directly at the root ball of the tree, where the water is directly needed. And it's quite effective, and certainly takes the chore out of watering. So we have some yearling Magnolia Henry Hicks, and we also have some older ones, and then we have the beautiful Southern Magnolia called Little Jim, and these are actually flowering. If I can get a close-up shot of some of the buds, so you can see the brown leaves on the bottom, which is normal. But again, here we are, September 12th, and we have flowers. They're budding, they're opening, and very, very fragrant. If you could smell them, and for those that are familiar with them, very fragrant, sweet, lemony type of fragrance that are just really just amazing when you smell them. Some more of the Henry Hicks magnolia. So as we walk up here, more of the green giant. These are the 3-year-olds. And here you get a better view of the Magnolia macrophylla. Just an outstanding plant. Needs some shade and a little bit of protection from the wind, because the wind can whip those leaves around and break them. More of the northern bell, more of the oaks, which are doing well. Some amelanchier, that's autumn brilliance, and more of the American sycamore. So we also have pulled some varieties just to give you a sample of what some of these trees look like. So we pulled some of these just to give you an idea of what the root systems look like. So these are special root pruning pots, and it's important to understand that what you see here is just the beginning of the growing process. These trees will be upstaged to a larger tree bag this fall, and there are multiple facets to how we grow. So I'm going to stand this up. You have a pretty good close-up view. This is the sweet bay, the magnolia, southern magnolia, and this is a pretty nice specimen. I'm not sure it actually has the flowers, but again, you see the root system. This is the American holly, This is probably this is a 2-year, but you can see the roots. Now these roots are not circling, they are spreading out, which is exactly what they're supposed to do. But you can even see the shape of the pot. That's solid. So these are going to be upstaged into a bigger tree bag. And probably one of the secrets, the secret sauce, the secret mix, is this growing mix that we use. And you can see how dark and rich and organic that mix is. So we have the root pruning pots, the bags, the custom organic growing mix, and we also use a special organic fertilizer. We're not going to mention names, but it's very, very effective. It is 100% organic, and it works very, very well. The NPK ratio is 6:3:2, so it's not a heavy nitrogen compound, but it also, the important thing is about this fertilizer is that not only does it have the macronutrients, the NPK, but also the micronutrients. So there's 7 or 8 other micronutrients which are important to every plant or tree, especially for its growth and development. So those micronutrients are included, which is important. And so you can see some of the growth, and you'll see just the amazing growth that we have with some of these specimens. And this is not from overdoing the nitrogen just to get that, the beanpole look. This is just good growth, good regular watering, good soil, and a good balanced fertilizer. So you have, this is the right in the break between the tables there is the Trident maple. So that has put on about 4 feet of growth, so about 2 feet a year. That's a 2-year-old, and that'll get upstaged. Here, this eastern redbud, Cercis canadensis, started out in the spring, and we were late planting this year just because we were just so busy. And these were planted in probably late April, and they were about a foot tall. This particular specimen is a good 6 foot tall, excluding the pot. And red buds are not known to be fast growing. And again, we do not give heavy nitrogen in our fertilizers, to get this kind of growth. But this is the result of what a good balanced and especially organic fertilizer will do for you. So the next one, this is Magnolia Ann. And what's just truly amazing is that it's September 12th and it's in bloom, which is not normal. Normally they're blooming in April or so, April to May. Next to it we have a northern red oak. So this is a yearling. So we got these about 12 inches tall. You can see they put on about 18 inches of growth. We have a Sweet Bay magnolia next to it on the table. They put on a good 2 feet or more of growth. And we have one of our favorites, the Cercis cercidophyllum, which is also known as the Katsura tree. And you can see new growth. This is all new growth, and this is the color of the leaves. Even in the spring, you can see this light pink, purple color to the leaves, and the stems, the leaf stem, have purple stems. And so it's considered a 4-season tree, one of our favorites. The next tree right here, this is a white oak, and this is a 2-year-old, but this particular tree is it's 5.5, maybe 6 foot tall, excluding the pot. And we've been able to get almost 3 feet of growth a year out of white oaks. So again, we're not using heavy nitrogen. This is a well-balanced, low ratio type of fertilizer. And you can see the proof is in the pudding. These are the results of the white oak, Quercus alba, the slow-growing white oak. Well, here it is. We're getting almost 3 feet of growth a year out of them. And the next is the Henry Hicks magnolia, which you can see almost has a pyramidal look to it. And and right next to it, we have the Moonglow magnolia. So you saw the smaller version over here growing on the table to the left side of the table. That's a yearling. That's over 3 feet tall. And you can see the kind of growth that we've been able to get out of it. And if you look at this specimen right here in the white tree bag to the right, That is about a 6 foot, 6.5, maybe 7 foot specimen of what the moonglow magnolia looks like. And they are semi-evergreen and very floriferous, a lot of flowers, a lot of buds. And then we have a large American sycamore, and then next to it, this is a southern white oak, also called Quercus bicolor. So it's known as a bicolor oak as well. That it is its northern range includes Pennsylvania. It is known for its fall leaves and general hardiness, but also it is considered a tree that likes wet areas. Hence its name, swamp oak. And it's really a beautiful, well-growing tree. So the other aspects of the growing process, we start with the special root pruning pots and bags. We use the custom organic growing mix. We use a special organic fertilizer that has a ratio of 6:3:2 NPK, but it also includes the mycorrhizae, which is the beneficial fungus which helps tree roots or plant roots generally. But very, very interesting because it's rare to get that with each tree, but all of our trees contain that in the root bag. Regular watering. You can see here we have some overhead towers running. Now we primarily use drip irrigation for our bigger trees, but with our smaller trees we do use the overhead because we just have so many of them. There's just no other. You can't use drip irrigation for when it's so dense. But this really works. One of our favorites. And you saw the process of how we grow. So some of the other aspects include frequent watering. So trees in these pots become competitors. So the weeds are going to steal water from the trees. And if you allow the weeds to get too big, they actually can kill the tree because they're just so competitive. They actually will steal the water from the tree and the tree gets none. And that's sometimes what happens. So the easiest way to weed, stay on top of it, do them when they're small, do it frequently, and you're ahead of the game. Also sunlight, shade. Shade can be your friend depending upon the type of tree. So we vary where we grow these varieties. So this is a small field. This is just our production field. And again, these trees are all too small to sell. It would be a couple of years before they were even close to being large enough to sell. But we have other fields that are that contain the other fields. So what makes Brandywine Trees different? What makes us unique? Well, number one, we're wholesale, and our customers, we sell in quantity. Our customers buy direct from the grower. We're 100% organic. We don't use any pesticides. We don't use any herbicides. All of our trees have superior root systems. We grow over 100 varieties of rare, hard to find, and special trees that buyers want. So we hope you like this video. If you found it interesting and like what we produced for you, please like our video and share, and we'll be talking to you soon. Our website is brandywineTrees.com. We are an online only grower, and we deliver in the Philadelphia tri-state only. So we deliver direct to the buyer's location. So thank you for your time and enjoy.